Ladies and gentlemen, all around the world, possums, brethren, sisters, family. Welcome to the Passel. We are Offensive Points, and we are on the IDP Plus Network. We have a really fun show for you guys today. We're going to do a mock draft. So, drafts in April. It is now January 15th. We're going to dive into it. And the preliminary draft, Possums, is fantastic. In the past, we've actually been pretty close on our initial draft and then completely fucked it up by the time the actual draft rolls around. So we're gonna start off and hopefully remain a little bit truer to what our initial beliefs are because of what we've learned from the past. As always, I'm here with Josh and Billy. Josh and Billy, what is up?
Man, just happy to be talking about off-season football, even though playoffs are in full swing at the moment. It's going to be here sooner than we think. And honestly, this is one of the ones that really shapes that. It's kind of ironic because this mock draft that we do is almost 10 times better or more accurate than the one we do like the weeks leading up to the draft, which is kind of ironic. But looking forward to talking about some of these guys. Some of these guys are going to go to great teams and do some great things for people. So, just looking forward to talking about off-season football because it's coming up.
Yeah, we had our first mock draft last year where we had Michael Penix going to the Falcons. Now, that was prior to Kirk Cousins signing there, so we were kind of just projecting based on the need, but we ended up being right. Doesn't matter how you get there. You just have to get there, and that's what happened last mock draft. We should have just stuck to our guns. We should have known Kirk Cousins fraud. Josh believed it from day one. And
speaking of frauds,
should have just kept it, and they didn't. So that was tough.
Speaking of frauds, I want to talk about something I've talked about on this podcast several times, and that is the number one fraud of this season, and that is Sam Darnold, who was propped up by their defense and Justin Jefferson all year. And here it is. It came down to him being a fraud.
Yeah, no, not only that, I don't know if Sam's going to get quite the contract. I think, what's weird enough is I think it's going to be more in the Baker Mayfield territory, which it's not a bad contract based on how he's playing. Some team giving him that, that's a swindle in my opinion.
Yeah, he lost like $1 million a sack, so hopefully, I don't know. Minnesota should bring him back. They need to. It's going to be cheaper, which is good for them. So all of this trading McCarthy thing makes no sense at all. And I've heard even more of it. It continues even after this horrific collapse that the Vikings just had. So It makes no sense to me. You can't trade McCarthy. You have to resign Sam Darnold, in my opinion. I don't know.
They could technically franchise tag Sam Darnold, but it's going to be like $47 million. So probably not the best
good
option.
Good for Sam Darnold. Good day in the Darnold household.
That is an option, though. They could do that.
Either way, man, he improved his overall outlook for his career, and he's probably going to get a chance this time, and then someone else is going to kick the tires on him again. So he elongated a failed career.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets are just staring it right in the face. You can just see it. I'm coming home. Like, it's going to have that going with Sam Darnold to the Jets. And it's going to be a disaster again because Sam Darnold needs literally the perfect situation, like, to work. And, I mean, Kevin O'Connell should get Coach of the Year. Kind of didn't look like it after this playoff game. But for the regular season to get to 14-3 with Sam Darnold, well done. You did it. Impressive.
It truthfully was. Fucking Vikings.
Let's get into this mock draft, gentlemen. We are going to do. Josh is technically going to be running it. So,
hey, before we get into this draft, Billy, I want to talk to you since you're our resident expert. Which of these quarterbacks out of Milroe, Ewers, Jackson Dart, even, which of these guys is going to torpedo this draft?
So it's probably Milroe because when you see him run, you're gonna think some things, and I can totally understand that. We did think that about Malik Willis too, and that didn't necessarily work out. But I think you're gonna be able to see a little bit more from Milroe. But honestly, it might be Jackson Dart. I've seen a lot of people are high on him, and I just don't see the full package. I see him as a great end of the first, second round guy, which, I mean, end of the first quarterbacks other than Lamar Jackson rarely work. But I could see something like that. But I don't know. I just don't see it. When it came up against the good teams that had good defenses, good game plans, he folded, and I can't unsee that,
So,
unfortunately.
and one of the mock draft sites, Milrow, was like number 17 overall. So maybe there's something that happens. Is he going to be at the Senior Bowl, or is he not a senior?
Senior Bowl.
Okay. So maybe he has a chance to boost his draft stock up. There's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks, and currently, I think we probably only have about 2 in the first round. And because the problem is like late first round, none of those guys, none of those people, other than not even the Vikings at that point, really need a quarterback. So it's tough.
I mean,
Well,
I'm
it'd be
looking at
somebody
Saints,
trading
Jets,
back in.
Raiders, kind of right in the. That's kind of where I'm looking for one of these teams to just throw everything off.
I get it. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, one of these teams is going to sign Darnold. Don't know who that's going to be. Seems like such a Jets mistake, though. Like, it's hard to imagine it's not them. But yeah,
I think Fields is going to the Jets. I think that's how this is going to work out.
I mean, that would be crazy too. I still think they should draft a quarterback, though, even if they get Fields. Like,
oh yeah,
got to get somebody.
Yeah, we've seen the Fields.
I like Jordan Travis.
Out.
I know he got hurt in college, and that he's just been sitting on the IR all year because of his injury, but he should get a chance. I think he was good in college. He was a very good game manager, and game managers seem to be popping right now.
Yes, they do,
for sure. Okay, let's get to this mock draft. We are starting out with the number 1 pick in the draft. Audio audience, we will try to be as clear as possible with how we describe this. YouTube audience, obviously, you're going to be able to see the draft. So Spotify audience, just bear with us. All right, number 1 pick in the draft is the Tennessee Titans. We're going to go quarterback. I'm going to argue for both sides, but Joe, you're pretty staunch on who you think is going to be number 1. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Shedeur Sanders. I see him coming out of the tunnel wearing the cowboy hat just like his father. And what better place to wear that cowboy hat than Nashville, Tennessee? They're building a new stadium. Nashville is probably one of the hotter cities in the U.S. right now. And I think bringing the show to Nashville is exactly what Tennessee is looking for. Honestly, I think Shedeur, probably out of all these quarterbacks, is the one that can step right in and run an offense in the NFL right away. So I think it's Shedeur Sanders.
I got to disagree with you here. I personally think it's all going to be Cam Ward. He seems to be the more complete quarterback. I think Shedeur is fun, flashy, and everything, but I don't see this whole Shedeur Sanders hype being the right move, especially for the Titans, who have drafted 6 quarterbacks in the last 5 years. It feels really awkward for them to go after the flashy one when you have the more complete package in Cam Ward. That's why I'm kind of leaning Cam Ward on this first pick.
It wouldn't be horrible, but I think it's Shedeur.
I like both cases. Fun. Here's why I would think Cam Ward. Mainly because of Jaden Daniels, if I can be completely honest with you. He looked ready to go this entire season, and I did not think that was going to happen. Thought it was going to take a minute. He does have the legs. That did help a little bit, but as the season went on, as he got that rib injury, he kind of just went back to passing. So I kind of was like, all right, I think experience might be the key here and not necessarily the pure raw ability, which I think Shedeur has. But if I was the Titans, it's hard to pass up on Shedeur Sanders. So
you're selling tickets immediately.
I'm good with Shedeur Sanders because it is box office. The thing that we need to keep in the back of our mind, though, is that Deion said he's not going to let his kid go to not one of 3 or 4 teams. Does he force a play here? That is the interesting part.
Well, see, I think what's going to happen is he had that really pretty announcement that he's not going to leave for the Cowboys because he loves the student body and all the donors and all that stuff, which is perfectly leading into him announcing that he's leaving to join the Cowboys as their head coach. And they will immediately trade up for the number 1 overall pick, probably Micah Parsons, you'd have to imagine. And they're going to land Shedeur. You got your father's son coach. Boom. I think that is very much in play. That is a Jerry Jones move as well.
Got to flip Dak too. I will say something I found out recently was that the Colorado football team had the best GPA out of all their seasons and combined or whatever, with a 3.0 GPA cumulative with the whole team, which is kind of wild to me. I'm not that I assumed that he doesn't care about studies, but I just didn't know how locked in Dion was as a coach and as a mentor to these kids, which is kind of amazing.
He runs a tight ship, man.
Yeah,
he has a book out. It's really good. You should read it. Can't think of the name right now, but fantastic.
Okay, are we plugging AJ Brown's book while we're here too? I mean,
you can if you want to throw it out there.
I think it's already selling well enough. I think we're good. Inner Excellence. Check it out.
One or whatever, according to Adam Schefter and Field Yates. Yeah, I think it's Shedeur, and not necessarily maybe for the Titans, but whoever has the number 1 pick, I think they're picking Shedeur Sanders. So, number 1 pick in the draft.
Nobody ever listens to me.
All right, number 2 pick in the draft is the Cleveland Browns. Do we think they stick with Deshaun Watson, or do they take their chances and pick the number 2 quarterback in the draft? Joe, you're shaking your head. What do you think?
Yeah, this is Cam Ward, 100%. They have to do it. Myles Garrett came out and said the rest of the roster is ready to win now. Get your cheap quarterback. He's way better than Deshaun Watson immediately. The receiving core is fine. The defense is fine. And let's get Jay Cutler 2.0 back there and let it rip.
Wow. Cam Ward's Jay Cutler 2.0 now. Got it. I have to.
That's a compliment, honestly.
I mean, he was fine, but not great. I could not disagree more here. I think they go with the best player on the board, which is Travis Hunter. Too versatile of a player to pass up, and this team in need of wide receiver help. I mean, it's Jerry Jeudy and Charles Tillman, who's 94 years old out there. Travis Hunter makes the most sense, assuming he's playing some wide receiver at least, or he's just the best cornerback in the league. Either way, you get the best player. I don't know how you word that, but in my opinion, the best player in the draft.
Fair enough. Josh, I'm with you. I think it's going to be Travis Hunter. I don't think they're willing to make the Deshaun Watson move yet. I think they're going to pick whatever quarterback comes out next year because they're going to suck again this next coming season as well. And it's going to be more, bad things for the Browns fans.
The problem is
this is like a job thing, though, at this point for the coach. I can't think of the GM right now, but is it Andrew Berry?
I think it's Andrew Berry.
Andrew Berry and Stefanski are coaching and GMing for their jobs right now, which is why I think it's Cam Ward.
I mean, the good news for the Browns, or I can't say good news, but it's a cap hit of $72 million either this year or next year. So you're either paying him, figuring out how to get rid of him, or you're doing it this year and just drafting the replacement right now. I mean, it's a tough situation for the Browns to be in. I see this more as a free agent signing, hoping to get someone who can go out there and sling the ball around and do a good enough job. I feel like they tried it out with all their quarterbacks.
Darnold, Justin
Fields. Maybe. I don't know if it's one of the high-end ones. I think it's one of the one-year contract kind of people. I don't think they can afford to pay the quarterback position $100 million plus in 1 year.
Sam Howell would be so perfect in Cleveland.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's probably true. I do think I would like to mention I do think there's going to be some trades at this point. Like I don't think the Titans are going to pick number 1 overall. I do think they're going to somehow the Giants are going to get up there and salvage a lot of their future to pick the right quarterback this time. But since we're not projecting trades, I do think this is going to be Travis Hunter. I think it's going to be Travis Hunter either way, to be honest. And I think whoever picks at 3rd, maybe the Titans, they're going to pick the next
whatever's left of the quarterbacks.
But again, we'll get to that later on down the line when we get to that point. I think Travis Hunter goes number 2. It would be insane for 2 Colorado Buffaloes to go number 1 and 2 off the board. That is, I don't know if that's ever been done before from the same school.
That's why Cam Ward's going number 1 overall.
Probably. All right. Number 3, Giants. They need O-line help like nobody's business, but hard to imagine with Cam Ward sitting on the board here, that's not the direction they go in, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, if they're doing offensive line help, I think they could actually do a trade up for a mid-late first with one of these Super Bowl or playoff teams where they can get themselves an offensive lineman. There seems to be a plethora of decent offensive linemen in this draft. It's not like there's this clear-cut number 1 Penei Sewell type player here. So I think you're safe to go ahead and get your quarterback, which you have to do. Like, I mean, it's very clear. You cut Daniel Jones. You need a quarterback.
Yeah, if this is your option, go Cam Ward.
Yeah, it's Cam or Shedeur, whatever best quarterbacks here.
I think you're right about that. All right, on to pick number 4. It is currently the New England Patriots. They're going to be super bummed if they don't get Travis Hunter. But wide receiver might be coming back around here. Maybe a Ted McMillan sighting. I know it's
This is
really
Abdul
high.
Carter, man. 100%. Get your tone setter on the defense.
I was going to say the exact same thing. We're finally starting to agree, Joe.
Yeah, get your tone setter on the defense, and Vrabel's going to want it, and worry about the receivers later.
I saw Abdul Carter mention that he would love to play for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's like, sorry, man, we're not picking.
What he did with one arm, dude.
Yeah,
crazy.
The kids.
He could go. Do you see his tweet where he said, "I'm going to go number 1"? Watch the draft.
I mean, you have to say it.
Yeah,
if you believe
you do.
Say it.
Yeah, I mean, if these teams, like if it was the Jaguars number 1 overall, 100%. But well, you still got the option of Travis Hunter there, but
for sure. Okay,
so
Abdul Carter, number 4 to the Patriots. Number 5 is the Jacksonville Jaguars. My personal pick would be Will Johnson, the elite corner from Michigan. I think their defense needs that kind of help, and he's going to be a plug and play right away.
Yeah, I'm torn on this one because offensive line's obviously a huge need for the Jaguars. That offense is just terrible. Run, pass, protection, everything. So I lean offensive line here, but I can be talked into Will Johnson, honestly.
Well, the problem is what you're saying for like the last 2 picks. Honestly, like the O linemen are I don't know if they're going to be this high. Like I agree
this has trade back written all over it too. But honestly, there's Tet McMillan is in that spot where someone could trade up to try to grab him. This is about where I would project him to go if it was the right team, but I don't see the Jaguars reaching for a wide receiver in the top 5.
You could look at like Will Campbell or Kelvin Banks, but I mean, they need something with Cam Robinson gone, but get your lockdown corner, put him up with Tyson Campbell, and yeah, Will Johnson's my pick at least.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair enough. Okay. On to the QB needy Las Vegas Raiders. Now, we do think they're going to sign a quarterback in free agency potentially. However, we've seen weirder things before. Could this potentially be a Jalen Milroe location? What do you guys think?
Honestly, I mean, it always seems to be one hyped up quarterback that doesn't belong in the top 10 that either does go or, reaches up the board. I mean, Penix was a perfect example of it. Not saying he didn't deserve to be up there, but we just,
it was way higher than we would have thought.
Yeah, at the time of draft, we had him in the late first, if not in the second. So can't remember exactly where we had him. So it seems like there's a chance for it. I personally think that this is a Tet McMillan. They know they're not getting the top 2 quarterbacks. They go with their best situation and then hope that they can get a good second round quarterback to, at least pair with their free agent signing. Maybe it's not the perfect one of the future, but maybe it's another, AOC, situation.
Yeah. No, it's Ted McMillan. I think you got to go quarterback. I think Brady's pet project this year is going to be O'Connell. See what you got out of him. See what some good coaching could be. Get Ted in there. Actually have a solid number 1 wide receiver. Keep Jacoby Myers. You got Powers there. Yeah. I mean, you got a good nucleus there. I think this is, honestly, they could tear it down this offseason too. Completely, but I think Tet's here.
How do you tear it down any more than it's torn down? I feel like we're already
get rid of Max, get rid of Crosby.
We're doing the Mack thing again. But that's kind of how they got here in the first place, was getting rid of Khalil Mack, and then the team just never recovered. And then they got Max Crosby, fortunately, who turned into the next Mack. But Mack's still out there doing it too. So anyway, Tet McMillan goes to the Raiders at number 6.
Tet McMillan. All right, on to the New York Jets. Another team that definitely needs a quarterback, but I could also see them going defense. I wish we kind of knew who their head coach was going to be, because that would probably tip their hand a little bit, but we don't know who that's going to be. We also don't know who the GM is going to be. So I do think this is something interesting that we should look into. Mason Graham, potentially?
I think it's Mason Graham. I mean, get a good run stopper right up the middle there. The offense is going to do what the offense does. I mean, you guys got to figure that out. But the strength of your team is this defense. You need some youth on the interior. Get Mason Graham, problem solved.
Yeah, I originally had Michael Williams going there. Just loved him, loved the tape on him. Another, Georgia Bulldog defensive lineman. Maybe he can slip to the Eagles and the Eagles can get him. But I'm good with Mason Graham too. I feel like edge, interior, completely different needs. but they need them both still. So,
okay, that sounds good. Well, Mason Graham. All right, pick number 8 is the Carolina Panthers. They're kind of an interesting team because like I can't really like 100% say what their needs are. Now PFF says D line and defensive back. Sure, I think just about every team could probably use another defensive lineman, another defensive back. Maybe not the Eagles. I think that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
we need another corner to eventually replace Slay, who can only play half a game now.
This could be anyone. Like I'm interested to see what you guys think about this spot.
All right, I'm going to go first. I think a smart person would say Malachi Starks would be an awesome option for this team. But I'm going to go, and my pick is a little sketchy here because as of 8:01 Central Time, he is not declared yet. But I think James Pierce, bad year this year, right? Bad year. Solid year last year, and he is a North Carolina kid. I think you bring him in, see what happens.
He's on here.
Now
elite upside
is interesting. I was going a totally different direction. So okay.
Yeah, I agree with the start of this. I'm not disagreeing with Pierce because I don't know enough about him to be like, no, absolutely not. But I was originally thinking Luther Burden here. I know it seems like a lot for a Mizzou wide receiver to go high, but
it's crazy that you say that, brother. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Even seeing him in the top 9 here, I think in the other mock draft simulator he was like 14 or 15. But it just seems like that's their most obvious need. I know it doesn't say it on here, but like it's the Carolina Panthers. Their number 1 receiver is Adam Thielen, who is ageless but aging. And then, some guys who just have been okay. Like
I don't love his size. That's the only issue that I find here because they really needed Tet McMillan to fall to them. That would be absolutely perfect to like plug and play. But they also just need a 1, and Luther Burden can be that 1 with Adam Thielen leaving potentially. He's 35 or 34. Like he's our age. I don't know how he's still playing. But with him potentially leaving, Luther Burden would come in there and fit right away. Have him, Leggett, and Coker maybe, and just see what you got with Sanders on the tight end spot.
I wouldn't fight you guys on this because, you got a Lazarus revival out of Bryce Young, so you might as well ride the hot hand and get him a weapon here. But
we could also go at Egbuka as well too. It's not like he's off the table. He obviously couldn't be higher than Luther Burden at the end of it.
I think Burden's more of a playmaker.
Yeah. Burden is a 1. I think he's the end. Like that's the end of the 1s category. But Egbuka is a great number 2.
I see something in Egbuka, honestly, but.
Well, the last time I said this, it was Chris Olave, and for a little while, he proved me wrong.
He still kind of is, but, by concussion.
Yeah, because I was like, Garrett Wilson's better than him, JSN's better than him, and for a little bit, he proved me wrong. Like, Chris Olave is the best one, but I think we've kind of leveled back out. That take actually kind of warmed up a little bit.
I kind of don't feel like it's his fault, but whatever.
It's not his fault. It's the concussion's fault, but still.
Well, even before that, he was Derek Carr. Not finding him or throwing to him at all was the problem more so than anything. So we go in Burden here?
Yep, Luther Burden. All right, on to the Saints. Now,
okay, this is Egbuka, 100%. Because the Saints need a slot wide receiver. Let Olave fix his head, and you get Shaheed back, hopefully, in good health. But you guys need a wide receiver to at least be competitive. MVS is not the answer. And you have real injury concerns with your 2 top wide receivers, even though they are very good wide receivers when they are healthy. I say you got Derek Carr. What else are you going to do? Give him some more weapons.
I have to say this seems more free agent signing over them. Like they already have their 2 young wide receivers. I agree that it'd be great to have another young wide receiver on this team that I personally think is going to be great, but I actually have him. I have him falling through here, but I had I think Scorton going here because I already had Michael Williams off the board, but Michael Williams or Scorton would be a great pick for them. I think that defense needs something. Jordan Cameron Granderson? Cameron Jordan? Okay, yeah. Sorry, the 2 Jordans got me confused, but yeah, I think he can't do it forever at this point, and this defense could be something. Like there's some playmakers on this team, and I think one of the better edge rushers off the board goes here. So
All right. Well, I'm gonna be terrible for this because I think they're gonna trade out of the spot directly, and I think they're gonna get Tyler Warden, but later, not at number 9. Um, I guess they go defense first. I mean, I like your wide receiver take. I just feel like they like Olave, unless we find out more about Olave. But I think they like Olave and Rashid, and they could just fill in that spot later in the draft. So I don't know if they go this high personally. So yeah, I guess it's defense.
So
it's either Michael Williams or Jalen Walker from Georgia, in my opinion.
Let's just go Jalen Walker. He's the higher up.
Jalen Walker it is.
I would go Williams, but
not too late.
Williams. It is.
Yeah, I was thinking edge rusher. Yeah, I forgot Walker's more of a linebacker.
I mean, he can do pretty much whatever. But
he can.
If you want a true edge, you got to go.
I have a spot for Jalen Walker personally. I want to make the argument for.
You're not going to do the Mike Green hype and tell him he's like a top 10 pick now?
Hey, he might be.
All right, number 10 is the Chicago Bears. Our Chicago Bears correspondent, Joe. What would you like to see them do here?
Oh, get Will Campbell. If he's not ready at left tackle, play him at guard for a year or two. Get your future. You need somebody on this offensive line, and you need to sell the farm to get it. Get him.
This is the absolute thing the Chicago Bears are not going to do. They're going to go with Ashton Genty because it's the big flashy play. 100%. I mean, I'm not even kidding. Like, there's so many mock drafts with this happening. I hate it, but it makes sense. Like, they haven't had a bell cow running back. I don't know when the last time they drafted a running back higher than 15, if ever. But it's got Chicago Bears.
Ryan Poles might be crucified if he doesn't draft an offensive lineman.
I'm agreeing with Joe here. It has to be offensive line. Honestly, I think all of their picks should be offensive line. They shouldn't even
don't even get anyone else.
Just give them how many picks they have. Give them 17 chances or whatever how many picks. Just all need to be.
All right, when it happens here, you heard it here first. Well, technically you heard it online first, but then
they tear that room that he's in apart if they pick Ashton Genty for a little bit, and then he'll get a Genty jersey and be happy with it. So, who needs an O-line when you could, get the guy that breaks through contact better than everybody? But still, it's Will Campbell.
So you want Will Campbell?
Bears,
okay.
Don't do this.
All right, I don't think it happens personally, but
pick 11 is the San Francisco 49ers. Thinking in the defensive realm here, but they are a wacky team to project always. So, what are your guys' thoughts here? What is going to fix them next season?
Christian McCaffrey having a new Achilles.
I was between two. I was between Nick Scourton and Kelvin Banks. The reason is I think I'm going to go Kelvin Banks because Trent Williams is almost 58 years old at this point, and he's great, but draft Kelvin Banks. You can put him at guard. He's played all across the line. So you could play him there while Trent Williams has his last hurrah, and then he's your left tackle for the future.
Yeah. I mean, it seems weird for them to be drafting offensive line, but at the same time, like it does make a lot of sense here. This is where a bulk majority of these offensive linemen are going to end up going in that 10 to 20 range. I actually personally had an edge rusher going here just because I feel like nobody's running on the other side of Nick Bosa. Leonard Floyd was fun. He's old. It's not working. Hargrave has been a waste of money. Even interior defensive line makes sense, but they do have Mike Collins too. So I don't know.
I feel like if Carter or Williams falls past either of the two teams we projected him to, he's not falling past. Either one is not falling past here. Like they're going with one of these guys. Just a matter of which. But I think they go O-line. So yeah, Kelvin Banks. Although we need to monitor his injury. He did get injured in his bowl game, but it didn't seem serious. But he didn't play again in the game, so something to monitor. All right, now we're on to pick 12, the Dallas Cowboys. I think we all, except for Josh because he hates them, think the same thing. Hopefully. No,
if he makes...
Okay, well, I'm picking Ashton Genty because it's fucking Jerry Jones. So
I don't think he makes it here, so I don't personally think that happens, but I think there's a couple other teams that could end up grabbing him. The Raiders could hypothetically grab him.
Based on where we're picking right now, what do you think is going to happen?
I'm just hypothetically saying. Saints as well, another team.
Patriots. I think Ashton Genty is going to be here. But if they're smart, they're going to draft Trey Harris to play next to CeeDee Lamb and give Dak a legit number 2 weapon and a real number 1 wide receiver.
I know where he's at.
He's
not saying that Lamb isn't a number 1.
Projected in the first round, but
not on this.
He'll be there.
I think they could probably get him in the second round and be just fine.
He'll be there. He'll be up there. Don't worry about it.
Well, we're gonna go Genty because that makes the most sense.
Based on the draft as it's falling right now, it's gonna be Genty. It's gonna be.
Personally, I don't think Genty makes it to the 12, which the Cowboys could also trade up for Genty and do like the dumbest thing where they waste a bunch of draft capital to get the running back that they would have gotten at 12 too.
Well, we thought they were going to go running back in this last draft, and they didn't even think about doing that.
Well, how'd that work out for them?
Exactly. All right, on to the Dolphins. Don't really see a running back going here. So, what is their biggest issue, O-line or defense? Because arguably they need a lot, and the defense probably needs the most help.
It's offensive line and it's safety. So, give me Tyler Booker, man, out of Alabama. Play all over that line.
Okay, Josh.
Yeah, I feel like their safeties are fine. I'd love to see Malachi Starks go here just because it'd be super fun to watch him. But I'm actually looking more at Jalen Walker going here. I think that's the play here. Best linebacker or true linebacker in the draft. And this defense, like you said, needs everything. And what else is everything other than a middle linebacker who can lead the field, lead the team. I don't think Jordan Brooks and Anthony Walker and Dodson and all the people they had fill in were the guys. I don't really think anyone on this defense is the guy, but I think they need one, and I think this guy.
Walker or Scourton? Which of those two?
Well, Scourton's more of an edge rusher, right?
Right, which, they also need.
Yeah, I could see that.
When's the last time they had a good edge rusher in Miami? It's been years. Jalen Phillips, I guess, for half
Chop
season.
is phenomenal. You got Bradley Chubb coming back. Jalen Phillips, if the wind doesn't blow the wrong direction, he should be there.
That's same for Bradley Chubb, by the way.
Hey, he's fine. Don't worry about it. I just don't think you can let Tua alligator arm his way through another season, dude. I think you got to protect that kid at some point.
I do agree with you that offensive line makes a lot of sense for them. I just feel like that defense needs so many pieces, and the reason I'm not leaning edge is because they have all these high draft capital edge rushers who haven't hit, and they're just sitting here like, okay, maybe it's time to do something different.
Chop was one of the most efficient edge rushers, and if you get Chubb back, I just don't see it as a need.
We can go Jalen Walker.
Has Chop done anything in the NFL?
Chop has done a lot of really good things in the NFL.
He's been fine, but I'm not to say he was like a breakout player.
I feel like we're talking about
great rookie season.
We're talking about these edge rushers that you drafted in Dynasty, and we hope that they will do good.
I don't have Chop Robinson anywhere, Josh, but cool take. I just think that they're fine at defensive end.
Bill, you good with Jalen Walker here?
Yeah, Jalen Walker. Yeah, I love that, Joe.
That was one of the best sentences.
Because if Chop Robinson was on Josh's team, we'd be hearing about how he's the next,
I don't believe in half these guys I draft at edge rusher. I just hope to God one of them hits because they never do.
That's fair. All right. Colts are number 14. This seems like an obvious Malachi Starks position, but I'm willing to hear it out.
I actually had Warren going here originally, but I didn't even think I had Starks gone. So the fact that he's falling this far, it seems. Mo Cox wasn't it. The 5 to 6 tight ends they've had on their team over these years just hasn't hit. As long as they're serious about Tyler Warren, which I have to personally think that he can succeed there, and I think that'd be a great dump off for Anthony Richardson if his back's okay and he can actually play football again. So I'd go Warren here at this point. Starks is slipping too though, so it's hard cut. I'd go either way.
That is hard to pass on Stark. I actually had Colson Loveland going here because I think he's more of a traditional tight end that's going to help Jonathan Taylor a little bit more because they want to run the ball, and an awesome weapon. But I do think, Josh, I think you're right that they have to prop up Anthony Richardson. Again, I don't need how many more wide receivers you need on this team, but someone's got to catch the ball at the tight end.
Hopefully no more wide receivers. Let's just all make a pact that's not going to happen.
This is another one of those could use an edge rusher, though, too, a situation where Scorton could go. But I really think they go with their bigger need. And Nick Cross actually played phenomenally this year, so it kind of makes no sense to draft another safety right away. So I'd have to go with one of the tight ends. Don't personally care which one. I have Warren slightly higher than Loveland. So
Joe?
Well, he votes Loveland, so it's really you that we need to make the decision.
Oh,
you need to choose a tight end.
Shoot. Okay, well, Warren then.
Oh, Billy, you broke my fucking heart, man.
I believe the Warren. Like, Warren is my guy. Like I get.
No, Warren's awesome, but he has to go to Sean Payton and Bo Nix. That is.
Oh, I see what you're.
That would be cool.
The story has to write itself. He needs his Taysom.
I guess that's true, and he is a pretty Taysom-y guy. But they're gonna have to trade up for that. I don't think he's gonna make it past this gauntlet right here. Well, I mean, Falcons aside.
I'd love to see, yeah.
Pick 15 is the Falcons. They need a lot on defense. They probably go edge rusher. I like Scourton, but I don't know. I just seeing him as a first rounder is just tough to me.
I mean, I know. I guess safety's kind of off the board here.
I mean, they could go cornerback. That's possible.
Give him Mike Green, man.
I don't think corner's really their issue. I mean, it's not great, but I don't think that's their number one issue.
They have to get an edge rusher. I don't know where they're saying.
Both their edge rushers got hurt. So we don't even know if they're good. They both got hurt before the season.
Judon's great, but
they traded for Judon once they both got hurt. So I don't know.
Grady Jarrett's
I feel like
100.
they might give it a chance to see which one's going to be.
Did Judon sign a multi-year deal though? Because that's my question.
After he got traded, I'm not sure.
I didn't know if he just
one.
No, yeah,
wasn't it?
It's a one and done. No, he was on the last year of his contract, which makes sense. That's why he got traded. Yeah. So he's technically a free agent this year. So Edge is looking pretty good actually, because without that, Ebiketie and these other guys that we've seen, we hope that they're good, but are they? I don't know either. So
I don't know. They drafted Braylon Trice, Rook, or
they did get Trice.
I just feel like we need to see what they are first. I don't think they're going to go first.
I mean, Trice was what, a third round pick?
Something like that. Well, they
took Rook in the second.
They took Rook in the second.
Yeah.
So
he plays inside more, doesn't he?
I mean, he is an outside linebacker on their depth chart.
Oh, okay. Do whatever you want.
I'm back to
but I like how feisty
I'm back to Edge. I think Scourton goes here.
We're going to be wrong about this one. That's just what it is. We're just going to be wrong about this one.
Give me Mike Green, dude. Throw Mike Green up there. Everyone loves him so much. He looks like Leonard Floyd to me, but I don't know. I've been wrong before.
I mean, corner? Benjamin Morrison? Is that possible for him? I mean,
he's in this range, but I mean, if you all don't think they're going to go quarterback, then they might not go with him.
I mean, they're probably going to just draft another quarterback or a tight end or something that they don't need.
That'd feel about right.
Let's just give him
Scourton, and we're just going to be wrong about this one. When we revisit this one in April, just remember we're curious about this one as well. All right, pick 16 is the Arizona Cardinals. Hard for me to say it's not going to be Josh Simmons, the tackle, but what do you guys think?
I saw there was someone inside O-line that was in the top, but now all I'm seeing is tackles, and now I had a specific lineman that I'm not seeing right now. Who was supposed to be like a guard.
Josh Simmons was injured. You could put Booker in there if you need a guard.
Booker would be good too. I mean, honestly, whoever, just give one of the two is fine. Booker's.
I had him going guard, like the first guard off the board. This seemed around the time that would happen, and I feel like their interior is actually worse than their exterior.
All right, give him Booker. I mean, he's going to go up this high. I'm not saying that against them.
I mean, this whole line needs to be rebuilt. Let's be real. I mean, I'm fine with getting the tackle as well.
Even I feel like Paris Johnson's who they drafted. Even he's been a little sketchy.
He came on a little bit this year.
He did.
He has been sketchy.
It's just been sketchy. It maybe he needs help. Like that could also be part of the problem here.
Yeah, because I don't even recognize their guards who they got from the Giants in Seattle, and I usually know at least half the offensive linemen out there. So I'm going to go with Booker. Go interior.
Booker it is. All right, pick 17 is the Bengals. Are we going to play this as if they don't have T. Higgins or they do have T. Higgins?
We're going to play it like they don't.
Okay, I think, it's got to be Ibuka. I really wanted to get the tight end here, but the way, what's that? Janu. Who's the tight end on?
Gesicki.
The way Gesicki played, assuming that he's still there, it seems like they're going to punt on this again and never draft our rookie first-round tight end that we want to see on the Bengals.
If Tyler Warren falls here, maybe.
Oh, no, technically it was a one-year deal, so he was actually
the thing is their defense needs a lot of help, but I think at this point they're just so committed to the offense that they would just double and triple and quadruple down and get another wide receiver. But
I'm saying that this is...
I mean, honestly, Yoshi on the outside, Chase, and then you put Ibuka in the slot, I think that'd be pretty deadly.
That'd be pretty lethal.
Wholeheartedly disagree. I stick with my original thought. It's Colston Loveland here. They do not have a tight end on the roster. Well, I can't say that. They probably have some backups. But Gesicki signed a one-year deal.
Gesicki's going to be cheap as shit to bring back.
I don't know. After his year that he had, I mean...
It was fine. It's better than what they're going to get from Loveland, receiving-wise.
He's been passed around like a lizard lot, dude. He's not worth much. It's a lot lizard. Can't even talk.
No, lizard lot worked. We got it. Everybody got it, right?
All right.
Okay. All right. Ibuka. All right. I want to go ahead and say you guys are wrong.
If they don't keep T. Higgins, now we are going to be wrong about this in March when he signs a 5-year, $100 million.
I just don't see there's any way they don't sign him for one. But even
anyway. All right, on to the Seahawks. They need offensive line help. They can always use defense. I'm of two minds here. I'm pretty committed to them getting Kenneth Grant, but I could see them doing a line too. What do you guys think?
I don't care.
I
saw someone mock a wide receiver to them, and I think it was Ibuka.
Oh my God.
They're like, just to get a third wide receiver in there. And I was like,
for Lockett?
I was like, get out of here. This is not happening. D-line was actually not terrible last year. Obviously could use another one. Don't hate. Interior just doesn't seem like the play. They seem to be pretty
I mean, you're right. You're right about that.
Do the Missouri tackle. Get that kid on the team.
Nambua?
Charles Cross hasn't been shit, and I'm pretty sure Abe Lucas is a free agent.
What about Simmons, Joe? I mean, Simmons is going to go pretty high. I mean,
but he was injured. I don't know.
The way this is dropped, I think Malachi Starks goes here. I think he's way too far down the board, and Julian Love and Kobe Bryant, although great name, not the best safeties out there. And Julian Love, I don't know what his contract looks like, but I imagine it's not great.
Fair enough.
Julian Love was just on the Giants, wasn't he?
Yeah. I like Julian Love, but I don't know what his contract is. I just feel like the way this is dropping, this is not who I had here. I had Nets Rusher originally, but I hate that for him. Yeah, they have a potential out this year, but he is signed through the next couple of years.
Well, I think Simmons is going to go higher than this, so I feel like we should probably pick him.
I feel like Starks is going to go right about. Well, I mean, not higher than this.
I mean, we're in the vicinity of Starks for me.
All right, man. All right, we can go Simmons.
Yeah,
we're good.
Simmons.
I like that Missouri kid.
We get Simmons.
Membua. Joe likes him.
Fair enough. All right, who it is. All right, on to the pick 19 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and this is Malachi Starks.
Yes.
Is Winfield still there?
Yeah.
He is. They can play too.
Thanks. I wasn't sure. Play too.
On to the Denver Broncos. Are probably going to be, was this Colston Loveland, you guys think? But he's not really the Taysom Hill project that Joe wants him to be.
Give me Trey Harris then. That's what I want. Because he's going to go high.
Trey, I like this, Joe, because I feel like you're early to this take. Because Trey Harris, I mean, I like him a lot. I have not seen him go in this high. Like, I have not seen him in the first. So I like how early you are to this.
Yeah, these wide receivers are like a huge enigma right now.
Well,
I think Trey Harris is number 2.
I've seen Bond in the first round. He should not go in the first
No.
round. He's going to be fast, but he is not going to be worth a first
No,
round pick.
I like Trey Harris. Jalen Royals is real solid, and then Golden, who just announced he's coming out too, is pretty good too. But these wide receivers are kind of an enigma right now. So
I'm impartial
to Harris.
I'm impartial to Tez Johnson. I feel like he's going to make a big jump up the board. I'm not saying this high, but I feel like he's going to sneak his way into the first round for some reason.
Oregon wide receivers scare me. I'll just say that.
It's understandable, but he's had pretty decent success with different changes. So we're going to go Trey Harris.
Go Trey Harris, because I would love to look back on this draft night and see.
And be like, damn, we nailed it.
How close we were, because this would be fascinating. All right, on to the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's the needs they have don't necessarily fit the players that are in the draft at this point.
So
I don't think they're going to go quarterback.
They're going running back.
I want
Mariana Hampton.
I want to make the case for Jalen Milroe because I feel like I don't think it's a good move. Okay. I just feel like it has Steelers written all over it. They'll sign one of Russell and or Justin Fields. I say and or Justin Fields. And then I think they go and draft a rookie quarterback. Maybe they don't do it this high. Maybe they do it in the second round. But I have a feeling Milroe or one of these guys around here, Will Howard, is going to end up being the backup to Fields or Russell Wilson.
Dude, this would be such a flashback of the Senior Bowl that Joe and I went to, because the Pittsburgh Steelers were in the same spot and they needed to draft a quarterback. Tomlin was there, and there's all four of those quarterbacks that were on that page right there are all going to be there. So, like, Dylan Gabriel's there, Milroe's there, Howard's there, Riley Leonard's there. All of them are going to be at the Senior Bowl. So, definitely could see that being something that happens again.
Yeah.
Could you theoretically not draft a running back and just sign Fields, draft Milroe, and just not even run a running back?
Just Justin Fields.
I would love to watch that. I mean,
like the reverse Wildcat. I think that would be.
Well, throwing it back to Fields or throwing it, to Milroe, tossing it back and then having them pass does create an interesting situation.
One only Arthur Smith could figure out.
Well, at this point, I feel like I know we're probably not right about this wide receiver run here, but I feel like it's got to be wide receiver. If they're not going QB, which they probably wouldn't. But
I think they get their running back, dude. I think they get their running back. Mariana Hampton, he's built like a 3-down back. Tomlin's going to love this kid.
Okay.
We're all over the place here.
We really are, because the Steelers present just such an interesting
I had Hampton, and I love giving first round running backs. I had Hampton going to Minnesota.
Okay.
So I personally,
I had Gianti going to the Steelers. We all seem to think he's going.
Dude, he is not going 21.
He's not making it to 21. Joe, come on.
Yeah,
somebody will snag him before that.
I guess I'll just go ahead and pre-order your jersey for the Chicago Bears, because that's where he's going.
Pre-order it, dude. I'll wear it even if he isn't on the team.
I had a wide receiver going here. I had Ibuka going here because I didn't know if he'd go that high. But if we're doing the Bengals taking him, then that's kind of
Golden.
That'd be high.
They have to go wide receiver. Maybe
do Milroe. Milroe actually makes sense. I mean, I wouldn't fight you with that one.
I personally think that they're going to end up doing it. I don't know if it's here. I just feel like if he ends up having a boost,
one of these quarterbacks is going to make their way in the probably top 10. But
I
mean, it's either going to be Ewers, Milroe, or Dart. Those are the guys I was looking at.
Kind of the cutoff for quarterbacks, other than the Rams and Vikings. I doubt the Vikings are grabbing one, though. You know what I mean? It's like, this is where, if we're putting a third quarterback in the draft, it's pretty much here.
That's true. Okay, yeah. Let's do Milroe. All right. On to the pick 22 is the Chargers. Colson
another good
played for Harbaugh, so that seems like a connection, possibly.
Another good spot for Hampton, by the way.
Yeah. Or Caleb Johnson. I like the way he plays, too.
I like Caleb a lot, too.
Yeah.
I just think Omarion's a stud. So is Caleb Johnson. Either one. Whatever he prefers.
So do we think he takes a running back first? Like, I don't know.
Is Kenneth Grant gone? Did we already draft him?
He is not
because
gone. Yeah.
he was a Michigan guy, and they need interior line.
Do any of these other tight ends? I don't know Gunnar Helm or Mason Taylor, but
Gunnar Helm's pretty good, and Mason Taylor's not. So
I'm not saying they're drafting him here. I'm saying could they get a running back here and then go get a tight end later?
Who's that other kid getting all the tight end hype? It's from a small school. I don't know.
I don't know, Joe. I don't know.
They're all about him, though. Yeah, actually, I think it is.
So just look at the logo I don't recognize.
So, okay, the only reason I'm saying Colson Loveland over Chargers is I think the Chargers can get a really, really solid running back in the second round. So
you also thought Blake... Agreed. You also thought Blake Corum was going to go here, and he didn't draft him. So, and he had the chance.
That's true. So, I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's true.
I'm not against it. I'm just making the argument. I actually don't. I think I ended up putting an offensive lineman for this team just because this team just needs something. But wide receiver makes a lot of sense too. I know we haven't really talked about that, but we're kind of burning through.
This is just such a rough wide receiver draft that I just don't know if these guys are going to be here in the first round.
Best overall is either Hampton or Loveland for them, but technically we still have Josh Simmons on the board, which is wild. But
I think you go Kenneth Grant or Walter Nolan. And, I mean, you saw what Mixon just did to this team.
Yeah, I did have Grant going a while ago.
Okay, let's go Grant.
All right, hit up the offense.
23 is the Green Bay Packers.
I thought wide receivers on their need. They have 6 of them.
Okay.
I'm just saying, no, I'm saying that it says the wide receivers on their need.
PFF likes to come up with things like that. Maybe Jack Sawyer. I kind of don't hate that for them.
Okay. I had Jack Sawyer for the Packers before his crazy-ass game that he just had. He just seems like such a Packers guy. And after that game he just had, I 100% think he's going to the Packers. It's either him or the Arkansas kid, but they're drafting one of them.
I actually had Benjamin Morrison going here, but I think edge makes a lot of sense too. I mean, they need some. They need
to draft a paint company, dude.
No, they need a playmaker on that defense.
Well, Jack Sawyer
did not rush anyone on the Eagles again.
No, they've kind of struck out almost every year. I feel like we should apply to be the GMs there. Just saying.
Lucas Van Ness is fine, but he's just not a number one.
He is not fine. He is he's exactly what we said he was going to be. Yeah. He's a rotational
That's
piece
what I said.
That shouldn't be in the first round. That's exactly. We all three were like,
I didn't say. I said fine. I said fine. I didn't say he deserved to be in the first round.
I know. I'm just saying how it's worked out. It's exactly what we said on the draft. It's insane. That's what I'm saying. We need to apply because we can at least judge some of this stuff, right?
I was hoping Sawyer would make it to the Eagles. I had him going there, but it was because I wanted him specifically.
Oh, nice defense.
Sawyer.
Yeah. All right. On to the Vikings. Pick 24. I think they're going to surprise us and go defense, but I mean, just for the memes, I guess, as the kids say, let's go running back.
I feel like they have to. I really do. There's no one. Cam Akers isn't going to be the future of this organization. Ty Chandler did not do it, and Aaron Jones washed. So
is it Hampton or Caleb Johnson? I like Hampton. Caleb Johnson a little bit more than I like Hampton, but I could be talked into Hampton too.
I had Caleb Johnson going to a really fun team, the Chiefs.
Okay, that's not bad.
The Midwest guy.
It seemed like something that Kansas, Iowa, same thing basically, right?
Last team they took was Toledo, or running back Pacheco.
Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I had Caleb Johnson there, but it doesn't. I'm okay with either one, honestly.
Guys, I really like Hampton. I love Caleb Johnson too. I just really think Hampton's special, and
Hampton.
Yeah, I will go Hampton here.
Hampton it is the Vikings. Now we're on to 25, and that is Houston Texans on the clock.
Simmons. Just convert him. They'll just convert him over from attack.
Or convert someone else if need be.
He can't. He will not last this long. Simmons, I think, is going to be one that we're wrong about, possibly.
It's fine. It's early.
Yeah. Pick 26 is the Los Angeles Rams. This could be a Loveland spot as well.
I just feel like they never use the tight end correctly.
Benjamin Morrison. I know, like, it just kind of seemed like they just take whatever's available in free agency with the tight end.
I had them going. Somebody D-line. I don't see him. We might have already drafted him, honestly.
Loveland or Morrison would be my two.
Well, okay, that's what I think too, Joe.
I know,
Josh,
but that's
Josh. I guess you're breaking.
I had Josh Simmons going here, and I had Loveland way gone by now. So
other than quarterback, I don't really think they need help on offense as much. I think that'd be cool to get themselves a tight end, but I just don't see that being like the end all be all for this team. I think they hit offense in later rounds and start off with a good defensive back. So we're gonna go Morrison.
Morrison it is. It's a good pick, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, Washington's on the clock. I'm probably gonna lean wide receiver. I don't want it to be Isaiah Bond. I just think that'd be such a mistake.
Yeah, they need someone else other than McLaurin. Although shit, they're doing it right now, so hard to say.
I like Golden a lot. I didn't think he was going to come out in this draft, which kind of surprised me a bit. But he did have a killer playoff run, so maybe he's a guy.
Where's Blue ranked at? Is he not right? Is he not right?
He's a running back.
Running back.
No, I know. I don't have it set to running back right now.
Oh,
I don't have him on there. I was just curious. I wasn't saying he's going here. I'm good with Golden. I really do think they go wide receiver, but at this point, I think I just plugged and played whoever was available.
I like Golden more than I like Bond. Bond is such fool's gold to me. Like, I just have not liked him, like his whole season.
I think I had
not even the Texas thing. Like, I'm picking Golden here, but I don't know. Bond just, I don't know, makes me nervous.
I just want to throw out Jahdae Barron
because
they wanted Jeremy Chin to be that guy, and he wasn't. But I would say Barron could come out and kind of be your Josh Metellus.
Okay.
And I think they really need corner help too.
Is Lattimore signed past this year? I'm pretty sure he just got completely wrecked. Wait, no, he's not on this team. Never mind. They traded him to the Packers.
No, Lattimore's here.
No,
I don't know what his contract is, but he's old. And you got Stansfield there, but I think throw Barron in the nickel. Let him play some like safety linebacker nonsense. Do that hybrid shit.
I'm gonna go with
I'm
Billy.
I'm such a Golden.
I feel like
I'm a wide receiver fan.
I just think they have to go wide receiver.
Yeah, I feel like the defense isn't the issue. I think it's the offense, which is weird because Jaden Daniels is going to win Offensive Player of the Year for rookie.
Time out. The defense is the issue, but they're
down the stretch though. Their defense played fine. Like they just needed a chance to get going. Like once they got like Luvu and them like all locked in, I didn't think they were that bad. I mean, they're gonna get
their secondary. Their secondary is pretty rough. They could use a corner, and I think Joe's onto something. But I have wide receiver, and I'm gonna go with Golden personally.
Okay, Golden it is. On to pick 28 is the Baltimore Ravens.
It's a team that needs nothing.
Nope, this is just make it. I mean, we could go Jahdae Barron here, Joe. They could use a cornerback.
I think I had the offensive line just because it was like, might as well make the rich get richer.
I had Princely going here.
That's not bad. I mean, I could definitely see Princely.
We can go James Pierce too, but I still, it's 8:39 and he still hasn't declared.
James Pierce is still okay. Yeah, it's James Pierce. What in the hell? Oh, we took him already. I guess we just.
No, we did not. No, Edge probably makes the most sense for them to attack, but I felt offensive line would be their play.
I wish I could retroactively take back my Bucks pick because I think they would take James Pierce 100%.
You did say Starks.
I mean, Starks is a good. Well, yeah, I forgot James Pierce was there, but
yeah, they had him down pretty low because I guess
we're going. Yeah, PFF.
If he ever declares, man, he's got to do it tonight, right?
Yeah, actually, the clock is ticking. I'm not gonna lie, like PFF should not let people doing mock drafts make the ADP. Like that doesn't work. Like that's silly. Like, I mean, I guess their rankings are kind of goofy too, but whatever. All right, well, we'll move on. Pick 29 is the Buffalo Bills. Probably need a wide receiver here, but based on what we got on the board, not really anything I like in that department.
Go Walter Nolan and Find your Ed Oliver replacement.
Dude, that would be dynamite. Walter Nolan's a good pick for them, actually.
No one would be running on that team anymore.
You're not wrong.
I had them going Jihad Campbell. I know that they have pretty good linebackers, but I just figured it was make the rich get richer type situation. Who are we going with?
34, right, on the ranking thing.
Walter Nolan.
Yep.
That tracks. All right, now this is an edge rusher.
He's the Eagles.
Or an offensive lineman. Those are the two things that they'll do. It's edge rusher or offensive line. So whoever best available is for you guys. Unless you have another topic. I'd love to see a third wide receiver, but I just don't think that they're capable of making a third wide receiver relevant. I don't think Jahan Dotson's a bad wide receiver. I think we just too many mouths to feed.
This is Barron from Texas because Slay's ass at this point in his career.
Corner. No, he's not ass. He just can't stay healthy. But I do agree. Actually, a corner does make the most sense. But the only reason I don't see them getting corner here is I see them going second round with a corner because they already got to do this, and I feel like the drop off isn't much here. So I don't know, but I'm open to your guys' thoughts.
I had Shamar Stewart, best available player. They could use an edge rusher. Even though it looked like Nolan Smith wanted to come out of nowhere during the playoff game, I wish he would do that, the whole season. But
told you he was good. Remember when you told me he was a bust?
No,
you did say he was a bust.
It's hard to argue. First round pick, can't really get that many sacks.
He wasn't on the field. They didn't need him last year.
Okay, I feel shouldn't a good player that's not a bust be on the field? I mean, one could argue.
They didn't need him last year. They need him this year, and he's showing up. I think I had
sacks is not showing up. That's showing up.
Well,
I think what's his name got that in one game 2 years ago, and he didn't do anything after that. But I mean, he could have had a whole season for Nolan Smith.
I'm saying showing up as in got 2 sacks in the first playoff game.
He was showing up for the season.
No, the season was pretty mid all around for edge rushers. That's why I had edge going here. I really wanted Jack Sawyer, but I'm okay with Shamir Stewart if we want to go with him.
Okay. All right, on to pick 31 is the Kansas City Chiefs. I love that they have the Lions winning this thing. That is funny to me. Well, could they do the tight end situation? One could think.
Dude, honestly, that actually would track because Kelsey, if they three-peat, he could go out and say, I'm retiring.
And I mean, Colson Loveland is not Travis Kelsey, but I do think the people that are going out hard for Noah Gray could have their hearts broken by Colson Loveland. Joe, what do you think?
I think they got to get the offensive line. I think between Gray and Wiley, they're okay at tight end. I know Wiley didn't do much this year, but I like Armand Membu from Missouri. I mean, they watched this kid right next door. They need the tackle. They got to re-sign their right guard, but
we drafted Membu. Remember?
Did we?
We did.
Yeah,
we did.
It was supposed to be Simmons, but you said you liked Membu, and I was like, we're doing it. Technically, it should be Simmons, but I did some wonky stuff.
That Minnesota kid only gave up 1 sack this year, but PFF has him way low.
I had Caleb Johnson going here, personally. I think they learned their lesson by only having 1 running back on the roster who could do anything, and I think they just stack what they need to stack. I mean, the offensive line's fine. Even if Kelsey did retire, Noah Gray would be fine. Wide receiver room is a question mark. Who knows what they're going to sign? Probably grab more veteran guys who want to go win ships. But I personally had Caleb Johnson. I think they learned their lesson with the Pacheco incident this year. But
if 3 running backs go in the first round after the last 6 years of NFL,
you guys know how I do it.
No, I love it.
Also, it makes sense too after looking at who's in the playoffs right now. Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs was. I mean, you got all these running back heavy teams, people who went out and signed rookie or free agent running backs and got the workload running back. Running backs is back, dude. And you said this is a good running back class, so I
feel like Jahmyr Gibbs kind of helped out too. Which, by the way, Travian Henderson, his stock just shot through the roof. We still don't know if Judkins is going to come out, which concerns me a bit. And then Nicholas Singleton and the other Penn State kid, Katron Allen, decided to go back to school. this running back class is kind of thinning out a little at the top, but it's still not bad. I don't want to make people think, oh, they have Judkins on there. Maybe he did.
They do have Judkins on here. Scatabo, should he be this high?
I just don't believe in Scatabo. I'm sorry. It worked for Arizona State. They almost beat Texas, but I don't know. Travion Henderson is definitely interesting though.
I do like Travion Henderson too.
Him passing let's go Travion Henderson, actually. I think that'd be perfect for Mahomes. He doesn't necessarily – you could have Pacheco do the, between the tackle stuff, but then have him as your pass-catching back.
Caleb is kind of very similar to Pacheco in that sense, but I don't see anything wrong with that for this team at least. But anyway, I'm good with Henderson. Joe?
Sure. I think they'd take someone better, but can we just please draft Barron?
You're killing me, Joe. I love this. All right, on to the Detroit Lions. Sorry, podcast audience. If you want to go see Joe's awesome reactions to this whole thing, it's a hoot, as the old people say. All right.
And Owls.
32 Lions. Jahdae Barron could go here. Do you think cornerback is their biggest need, Joe?
I do not.
I mean, Carlton Davis will be back. Give him Mike Green. I'm planting my goddamn flag on it.
No, I mean Mike Green actually does make a lot of sense for them. I'm not.
I will allow it because they need someone to be on the other side of Hutchinson. That's just their absolute. That's their one need as a team, which is wild.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, Mike Green's a good pick. I do think. I think he's got the dog in him, as they say. We are not going to read off this whole thing. We have done that in the past. We will post it on our social media, though, as soon as Josh has us clipped up, I hope.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Okay. I will download it now.
Sounds good. All right, but I do want to give a couple of reactions. Just so, 3 quarterbacks. Do we think there could be a 4th quarterback? We didn't think this last year. We thought there was 2, and that was it. And then all of a sudden, there's 4 by the time we get to the draft. Do we think that might happen again this year?
I mean, the Rams could snag one. The Vikings, I mean, what Jordan Love did, they could.
So what I see is I
don't think a first round for those guys, but
I see a lot of QB needy teams in the beginning, top 10, right? Like top 9. Sorry, I'll get the Bears out of there. And then I see a lot of people missing out on it and going after the best talent in the draft, which makes the most sense. Well, all these guys, except for the Panthers, pick again right after this. I see a lot of trade outs at the bottom here for any of the playoff teams, especially the elite playoff teams that have made it to the final 8 here. More than likely, Bills, Ravens, Eagles, Chiefs, Lions are not picking at those spots. There's going to be some trade ups for those quarterbacks to make sure that they get them before the second round begins. But at the same time, maybe they think that they'll slip because there isn't any need at quarterback for those. But then it's just like, will other teams do it? So it just depends on what these people hear draft day and leading up to it. So
I can see Seattle and the Rams taking a quarterback out of that list right there. But
so hear me out. What if the Raiders decide, hey, we need to pick up some draft capital. We need a quarterback. Let's put Max Crosby on the block here. Get like maybe 2 first, probably 3 though. Let's be real. What are we? Bills, Ravens, Eagles? Any of those teams make that kind of crazy move?
Max Crosby goes to the Eagles. Eagles don't trade draft picks like that, so they're definitely not. I would assume that would end up going more in that like 15 to 25 range, right? Like the team who almost did it and could do it with this guy, right? Like the Dolphins. I could see them making that trade. The Rams, I think, just learned their lesson with all their traded picks, so they probably aren't doing it. But, Chargers, Broncos, Seahawks, there are some teams out there that would make this move.
I just it's tough to say, but I just feel like there's one team here that's going to make a push for Max.
More than likely, what would happen for Max Crosby is they're trading it to a top 10 draft pick spot, so they don't have to give up 3 first-round picks. They just give up their, say it's the Patriots instead of drafting Abdul Carter, they just go get, they have a lot of other needs, but you know what I'm saying, like something like that, where that way the Raiders get 2 picks early on, and they can make their move to get their quarterback in the future.
Yeah, no, I guess that's a good point. That's a good point.
I'm gonna
the Browns are kind of desperate. I could see. I could see them trading back and paying a shitload to get Max Crosby.
Crosby and Myles Garrett on the same D line. That would.
I know. I would love to see it.
That would feed.
Try families. To just become a defensive team since they know their offense can't do it. Smart.
Well, I feel like they've always kind of been that way, to be honest with you. Even when
Never worked.
There, it was more of a defensive team. But yeah.
I guess looking back on this, I see a lot of trade outs, right? Like I see the bottom half getting traded out, but then I see even early on, like the Browns, I don't know if they could pass up Travis Hunter, and they're probably the least QB needy of the top 4. And I'm not saying that they don't need one. They definitely do. But the other 3 have no options. So it's tough.
It really is. This is gonna be this is an interesting draft because I feel like for the first time ever, I'm way more excited for day 2 than I am excited for day 1 because I mean, obviously fantasy football first and foremost here, but I just feel like we're gonna get so many running backs just picked and plotted in different places that it's just gonna be very exciting to watch.
I'm not gonna lie, I know it probably won't happen, but as we kind of talked about earlier with the running back situation, like I could see a 4th running back sneaking up into this list.
It'd be interesting. I do think again,
Crazy.
I wonder if there's a bet more wide receivers or running backs drafted in the first round because I think it's an actual conversation this year. Shouldn't be, but it's going to be. It should be because I think the running back talent is much higher than the wide receiver talent, and I think that the gap where we're getting drafted here shouldn't be as far back as it is. But I don't know. It does make an interesting one.
I can't wait for draft night. Such a fun day.
It gets me so excited I just love this time of year. There's hope. Every team has hope, and that is exactly what I like about the draft because you know, you could be the Commanders. You're picking Jaden Daniels, and suddenly you're in the playoffs, and you're on to the second round of the playoffs, like all in one draft. So
you're looking at these, like these top 10 teams that could actually make the playoffs next year. Looking at you, Bears.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Bears, Panthers, NFC South is an easy road. One team's going to win it. I mean, that's not out of the question.
Jaguars, if they ever figured out. I mean, the Raiders, no, probably not. Let's calm down.
Jaguars seem tough. Giants
also. Saints could take that division. I mean, Buccaneers didn't win by much, but the Saints gave it away, you know, by not playing.
I feel like the Giants are going to be in hell for like 5 to 10 years here while the Eagles and Commanders just win this every year.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Commanders as an actual rival. That's never been an issue for me. I have actually always really liked the team, which is super weird.
Yeah, they're a rootable team now that they got rid of their owner. But
when they wear those black jerseys, best jerseys.
I am not gonna lie to you. I hate the black jerseys. You can't read the names. I mean, I know who the players are now, but weeks 1 through 3, I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah. Sure.
Jahdae Barron's going in the first round.
Okay. Joe,
that was my one reaction.
Next mock draft, which we're probably going to do in like March, we will get Jahdae Barron's in the second round. Maybe we'll do 3 this year. Maybe we'll do 1 February, March.
I 100% think we should do 3.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll do 1 in February after free agency, kind of reset the expectations a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's the play.
Yeah, that should be the plan. All right. That's Mock Draft 1.0. If you hate it, let us know. If you love it, let us know. Probably won't, though, because everybody usually hates everyone else's picks. Story as old as time. All right. That being said, Joe, get us out of here.
Good night.
Go Birds.
Thank you for watching the IDP Plus YouTube network. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Be sure to tap the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new content.